Hello and welcome to Cosmic Coaching with Daniel. In this session I want to talk about heart intelligence. So we know that we've got at least three brains in the physical body. We've got the brain in the head, which consists of the central nervous system, the peripheral nervous system, the autonomic nervous system. We've got a brain in the gut, known as the enteric nervous system, and we've got a brain in the heart that was discovered about 3 decades ago, at least. And the brain in the heart relates to this notion of heart intelligence. And I've alluded to this in previous videos that relate breathing rates to heart coherence. So this little tiny brain in the heart actually has many of the properties that are in the human brain. For example, there are tens of thousands of neurons, just as there are in the human brain. There is biochemistry in the heart that mimics that found in the brain. For instance, there's several neurotransmitters. So we've got a biochemistry in the heart. And you've also got networks of neurons that operate similar to those in the brain and interact with and communicate with certain networks in the brain, the emotional systems involving the hippocampus, the amygdala, and the limbic system, and so forth, that govern emotions. So the emotions are not just something that is sort of influenced by processes in the brain, but also the heart. And they work together. And it turns out that the heart is actually considered the most powerful biological resonator in the body, in the sense that it influences all other systems in the body, including the brain. In fact, what they've discovered is the heart can actually veto signals from the brain and have an overarching influence over the brain. We used to think that the brain was running the show 100%, but that's not true. The heart is where we associate with what's known as intuition and precognition and this kind of subtle ability to know things. So there is definitely intelligence of the heart. This is not just something that's metaphoric. Previous cultures have known about it, such as ancient Chinese wisdom. They even have characters that demonstrate the understanding of the intelligence of the heart. And in Eastern Indian traditions, they talk about the guru is in the heart. The yogic masters understood this. So really, we all have a guru inside, and it has to do with this intelligence in our heart, which is actually implemented physiologically. So it's not just kind of a thing that we talk about that is poetic and kind of infer, but it's actually physically demonstrated in the physical heart. And what's interesting is, beyond this idea, there's a two-way or bi-directional pathway between the brain and the heart. They each communicate one another. They influence one another. When the heart, gets into this state of coherence, it actually causes all of the systems in the body to become more aligned, including the brain. So the brain becomes more coherent, and the immune system gets ramped up, the neuroendocrine system is influenced, and of course the cardiorespiratory system. So we know that breath is one of those major influencers of the heart coherence, and the autonomic nervous system. So what's really important to understand is that the heart actually has 4 different modalities, 4 different ways in which it communicates with the rest of the body. So we talked about the 2 primary ones in the brain, which is neurological systems, that's electricity, and biochemistry via the neurotransmitters, things such as serotonin, acetylcholine, dopamine, GABA, glutamate. But the heart has a couple of additional ways of communicating with the body. So it's got the neurotransmitters, it's got the electrical signals because it's got neurons, but it's also got what's known as a rhythmic communication modality. Now what that means is, beyond the sort of beats per minute rhythm, the number, the what's called the heart rate, there's this rhythmic language that's built in to those fundamental rhythms of the heart that we can feel and count, which is more subtle and actually communicates with the cells and organs of the body. It's a rhythmic language. So we know the body is kind of like a human instrument that communicates via cycles and rhythms. Well, that's built into the heart as a communication modality. And the fourth one is electromagnetic communication. So we know there's a massive toroidal field that encompasses the heart and the human body. It goes out many, many meters from the human body, and it interacts with the fields of other human beings. So this is this invisible field that has been measured. So it's a toroid. It's like the shape of kind of well, a donut's perhaps the closest thing, but it's not quite. But they call it a toroidal field, emanates from the heart. There's one a field around the brain, but the one around the heart is much, much more powerful. It's much stronger amplitude. Okay, it's bigger. So that's interesting. The heart's got this massive electromagnetic field, which is greater than that of the brain, and it communicates with the brain. It can veto signals from the brain, and it communicates with the whole body. So these four modalities: electromagnetic communication, rhythmic communication, biochemical communication, and electrical communication. So this is one very powerful system. It's so much more than this apparatus that pumps blood around the body. Certainly it does that, but it does much, much more. And what they found is, with this measure called heart coherence, they're able to understand via research from for instance, the Heart Math Institute. They've been doing this for many decades now. And what they've discovered is heart coherence can be attained when you get into a very calm emotional state and you embody this kind of heart-centered emotions like love, caring, and gratitude. Love, caring, appreciation, gratitude. And then you're able to kind of align the heart in such a way that you get this very smooth curve. You get this heart rate variability, which is the sort of peak-to-peak changes in the heart rate, moment-to-moment changes in the heart rate, and that gives you a kind of a smooth sine wave-like curve when you are in a state of coherence. So the curve is smooth and it varies widely. And the quiescent rhythm, the fundamental quiescent rhythm, is 5 cycles per minute, which we talked about. That's the ideal breathing rate to align yourself into a state of heart coherence, in addition to feeling those very heart-centered emotions, and then your autonomic nervous system becomes supremely balanced. So there's many things we can do, different supplements we can take, but breathing is one powerful modality, and aligning the emotions, because it certainly affects the biochemistry in the body, and we're able to balance the autonomic nervous system and engage the parasympathetic more, which is often sort of under-emphasized. We've got sympathetic dominance in our society. So I hope that helps. That's a little rundown about heart intelligence, heart coherence, heart rate variability, and the relationship of the biological heart with the rest of the body and all the various communication systems. So I offer brain health consultations that do involve knowledge of heart intelligence, the enteric nervous system and the gut microbiome, and also do empathic heart-centered counseling and what I call holistic life coaching. So if you're interested in that, just click on one of the links below, and look forward to connecting with you. So have a great day. We'll see you on the next video.